This is an experimental DDLC fan experience that is not affiliated with Team Salvado. Interface is inadvisable before the official game has been completed. You can download Doki Doki Literature Club at blah blah blah. We don't get to agree. We're just jumping right in. Teams of battle are awesome. This game is not suitable for children or those who are easily disturbed. Or robots. Sup, it's Hallie. Welcome to Dimensions. So, a couple notes about this mod. First of all, I have watched Afro Zero play some of this so far, so I have some idea of what it's about and where it's going, but I don't know how it ends, because whenever the developer put it into my review queue, I decided to stop watching the series so that I could get my own impressions of the rest of it. The second thing about this is that it's a decently long mod, and it is inevitably going to be interrupted by the release of DDLC Plus. So there's going to be a break in these videos eventually, and I don't know how long DDLC Plus is going to be, but I intend to cover that fully whenever it comes out. So look forward to that, I guess. Third thing about this mod is there's some prerequisite material to read here in a notepad called Before Dimensions, this text file here. I don't know what's in this text file, so even though I've seen the start of this mod and all that fun stuff, I haven't read this yet. So I figure if this is what is supposed to be our background for it, then I might as well read it to you. And if you think that's a boring way to start an LP, well, tough. Here we are. I'm going to read this. Alright? You can't see it. I'm just going to leave it on the title screen so you can enjoy the lovely music and the bobbing anime girls while I read. Here, hold on. Let me do my settings things first. And then we'll get into the text. Oh my goodness. On this background you can like barely see the things. Alright, no, it's fine. Alright, there's your anime girls. There's your ambient sound and crazy vortex thing. We're gonna read about Dimensions now. It's called Square One. The door slammed shut with the sound of finality. It had been the job of a lifetime, but tomorrow morning it seemed I'd be starting a new search in vain. How could anything ever top being an agent of the Time Corps? Of course it was pouring, as is always the case when you're down on your luck. I clutched my box of possessions in the hope that it might somehow stop the cardboard from dissolving. There must be some way I can convince Commissioner Jikoku to take me back, I whispered out loud. Probably not the best way to appear sane when there are people about. An elderly lady frowned, probably thinking I'd had some kind of gay lover's quarrel. Why should I care what she thinks, though? Or what anyone thinks, for that matter? It's not like I've got any friends left anyway. Not through grievances, just people drifting apart as they live their separate lives. And I never did figure out how to make new ones as an adult. Well, I guess that's not strictly true. In 2 years at the Time Corps, I'd managed to make a grand total of one friend, Sayori Knight. That might have been cheating, as we were partners. Going through life or death situations with someone by your side, with the fate of reality on both of your shoulders, can be quite an exercise in team bonding. Though not all of the agents are on good terms with their partners. It's hard to say how long I knew Sayori for. 2 years real time, but more like decades if you count mission time. I guess it's nice that it doesn't age you. She'd caught her previous partner smuggling ancient artifacts, and that's a serious thing for an agent. There's a strict code you agree to when you join, and breaching any of the tenets will result in immediate dismissal. It didn't exactly reflect well on her either, which is rather ironic as she's perhaps the most by-the-book person I've ever met. Agent Knight was put on mandatory training and evaluation, and we ended up in several of the same classes at the academy. I doubt I'd have made it through without her watching over me. By the time our first mission came around, we were used to one another's quirks. It was a simple objective: prevent a time traveler from buying Google.com in the summer of 1997. The traveler was a separatist looking for leverage. When we found him squatting in a dank, dirty basement, he didn't seem to have any clue how we knew he was from the future. Sayori eventually figured out that he wasn't from our time, but a while earlier, back when the revolution was in its infancy. There was no Time Corps back then, and the world was in a much nicer shape. Makes it hard to see what the separatists saw in that dead rock. It didn't take much to talk him down. He wasn't prepared for competition. His name was Lee. Oh goodness, this is actually a very long document. I couldn't help but admire his gall in using time travel for the cause, though his plan didn't make much sense in explanation. Sayori wasn't buying any of his charm. I don't think it was the cause, just the general disregard for the authorities he waxed lyrical about. Lee was the embodiment of everything Sayori wasn't. A rule breaker who wanted to haphazardly change time to get his way. She certainly wasn't going to stand for that. Within seconds, Lee was in handcuffs and his modem bagged as evidence. I didn't hold it against her, but I felt a bit bad for Lee. Surely there's a time and a place for breaking the rules. Over the next year or so, Agent Knight and myself hopped all over time, fixing mistakes and stopping bad guys. It was quite the thrill ride. Any doubts about the rules were soon crushed when I saw just how easy it is to mess things up with the butterfly effect. And then one day, I got a call from the commissioner to say the next mission had been scrapped. We had been scheduled for a mission to 1943 Switzerland to intercept a neo-Nazi group who had been attempting to change the course of the war. I can only assume someone else got the mission later on account of not being able to speak German. But then something really weird happened. Sayori up and quit the Time Corps. I tried asking her what happened, but she clearly didn't want to talk about it. Presumably something personal. I've still got her phone number, but I distinctly got the feeling she didn't want me in her life anymore. Maybe I'd misread us being friends. With Sayori gone, I got stuck with a complete ass of a partner who was even more anal about the rules, except without any enthusiasm for the job. Boring Boris, I used to call him, and I doubt he cares that I'm gone. Needless to say, my appreciation for being in the Time Corps went downhill from there. I started pushing my luck, bending rules just to piss him off. I wanted nothing more than to be like Lee and do something that actually matters. I was fed up of being a cog in an uncaring machine, so I made my plans and made good on the neo-Nazis' desire to change the course of the war. By killing Hitler. With hindsight, it was completely stupid, because there's no way I could have possibly got away with it. Also, I feel bad for letting down Sayori. Stupid part is I sort of let down Lee by getting caught just the same. Not that it matters now. I look up at the sky in search of the moon, hoping for a revelatory experience. Instead, a big dollop of water comes splashing down on my face from a street sign. That's just great. It's not like they're even used anymore. Well, now I'm drenched. There's got to be a shop around here where I can dry off a bit. I wander a bit further down the street, and finally find a corner shop after countless boarded windows. Crazy to think this shithole city is considered a beacon of hope in the world. Says a lot about everywhere else. Well, at least it's dry in here. I offer the shopkeeper a friendly glance. She barely seems to notice my existence. That works nicely if I'm not actually going to be buying anything. Not the best time to be making frivolous purchases. My phone rings and I let out a little surprised yelp. The shopkeeper takes notice. Planning on answering that? She asks matter-of-factly. Yeah, sure, I reply, with a stutter. No one calls me anymore. Must be the phone company. Words. No one needs a space in it, that's why I read it as noon. The screen reads Sayori Knight. Oh god. Why now of all times? I should be grateful someone still cares that I exist, but how am I going to explain what happened? Screw it, I won't. She doesn't need to know. I pick up, and for just a moment, all of my troubles are washed away when I hear Sayori's voice, full of joyful spirit.
Oh hey, I was worried you left it on silent. So I heard from Jikoku that you're no longer with the Time Corps. I was wondering if you have plans.
How in the hell did she find out so fast? No plans. Wait, do you mean like dinner plans or career plans? I can somehow hear her screw her face up on the other end of the call.
Career plans, you great dope, because I've got the perfect thing for you, if you're interested.
Ugh, pardon me. And the world was in a much nicer shape. Makes it hard to see what... Oh goodness. I pressed the button to mute my burp, and it scrolled the text, and I lost my place. I'm terribly sorry, dear viewer. One moment, please. Where was I? Okay. How can I possibly refuse? Even if this entire phone call is 100% too good to be true. Sayori, you're not being held hostage, right? I say it as a joke, but I'm definitely not counting out the possibility.
What? No, it's the place I got. It's fantastic. I bet you'd love it.
I did it again. Oh god. I'm sorry, since I got a cough, and then I press a button on my controller and it scrolls the dang thing. Oh, I see why it's doing it. Hold on. Okay. I just need to keep the cursor on screen so it doesn't jump whenever I press the button. You see, dear viewer, the way I do this magic is that I have the mute key on my keyboard mapped to the M button for purposes of OBS, but I also have the M key mapped in Joyta key on my controller so that whenever I press one of the trigger buttons, it mutes me so you don't hear terrible guttural utterances, like sneezes and coughs. But that also means whenever I press the button, it's as if I'm pressing M on the keyboard. And whenever you press M inside of Notepad, it writes an M. And if your cursor is not on screen when you write an M, it jumps you where your cursor is. So there's the story there, okay? I'm sorry. Alright. Not being held. Career plans are gonna go. Okay. Alright. Oh wow, working with her again sounds perfect. A chance to fix our friendship. A job being vouched for by someone I trust. And perhaps even a chance to find out what went wrong in the first place. That sounds suspiciously like exactly what I need right now. There's gotta be a catch. So what's the job? She draws her breath before answering.
Well, it's kind of hard to explain. I work for Dr. Bug over at the Multiverse Observation Program on Central Plaza. It's a familiar gig. Hopping about, but instead of going back in time, you'd be visiting another reality. We've not actually done it yet, but it should be amazing.
That's a lot to process. I wasn't even aware there were any other jobs like being a Time Corps agent, yet apparently this is a brand new one. That sounds interesting. How do I apply?
Oh, don't worry about that. I'll send you Dr. Bug's number and warn her you'll be calling. Give it an hour or so.
Oh. Informal style, that's different. Just as well, actually. It'll take me a while to get home anyway.
Oh, don't tell me you're out under those horrible rain clouds, mister.
Actually, I'm taking shelter in a shop. Thanks for the heads up. I'll give Dr. Bug a call when I get in. Sayori's voice turns serious all of a sudden.
Actually, there's something I've been meaning to tell you, but I guess it can wait for in person.
Huh, maybe she wants to tell me what happened. Or what happened before. Oh, okay, sure. I'll see you there, assuming I get past the phone stage. See you at the MOP. That's her song.
See you at the MOP. I know you'll be fine. You have to be.
The phone disconnects. Did she just hang up? And what was that last bit? Oh, the shopkeeper is now standing with crossed arms in front of the till. You buying something, mister? The interview. Chapter 2. The chocolate bar tasted of cardboard, but at least it helped calm my nerves. I pretty much fell into the porch, bringing half a swimming pool's worth of rain in with me. It was good to be home, if only because it was something familiar. Did Sayori actually send me that number? I checked for messages, and there was one. Just the number, with no information. Maybe she doesn't want to talk to me again. Is this an intermittent thing with her? I took a few minutes to catch my breath and get organized, then dialed the number, jumping across realities. While it doesn't sound bad by any means, Dr. Bug's going to want to know why my last job ended, though. That part could be fun. The phone rang a few times, then eventually an enthusiastic-sounding female voice picked.
Hi there. You're through to the MOP. Dr. Bug speaking.
Here goes. Oh, good afternoon. I'm calling to follow up on a possible job vacancy my friend Sayori Knight told me about.
Oh, right. Fantastic. She told me you'd be calling. I hear you were partners at the Time Corps. What was it that interested you in Multiverse Observation Program?
It's a job. Should really make it sound like more than that, though. What's not to be interested by? It's other dimensions. That's not something most jobs offer.
Indeed. And I'm looking forward to showing you them. Should you land the job, of course.
Is this a foregone conclusion? Does that mean she's desperate for applicants? Oh god, it's dangerous, isn't it? Within a couple of minutes of discussing Time Corp's protocol and the possibilities of dimensional travel, Dr. Bug offered me the job. I wouldn't offer someone a fast food job over the phone, let alone this. Well, I'd been incredibly interested before. Now that it's on the table, I feel unnerved by just how ridiculously easy that was. It made Dr. Bug's enthusiasm come across as creepy, like she wants me to be a guinea pig in a dimensional experiment. But at the end of the day, I need a job, and there's no one I'd trust more than Sayori in knowing a good one. Maybe I'm just being silly about it. Okay then, I'll see you. Shall we say next Wednesday? Or is that her saying that? It's unclear. What an unusual lady. Shouldn't even ask why I left the Time Corps. Maybe she's just scatterbrained. Smart people can be strange, right? Thanks again, Dr. Bug. Next Wednesday it is. What day is it now? Thursday, right. Guess I need to buy some clothes that actually fit. While I'm at it, I could... Error. All further events for this character are corrupted. Attempting to resolve. I put the phone down with a grin and gesture a tick sign in the air. Fantastic. I can't believe I snagged him for the mission. Oh, it's her.
I can't believe I snagged him for the mission so easily. The way Sayori puts it, he was the best of the best at the Corps. There must be recruiters clamoring for that kind of talent, and ready to go on Wednesday. That's simply incredible luck. It's been 7 long years of hard work, and now finally the hour is nearly at hand. I'm going to be leading the first team in history to travel to another dimension. I should really thank Sayori for finding their star candidate. Where is she at anyway? She seemed distracted when she got here and then went off to something. Get it together, Em. Gotta get better at those leadership skills. Priority 1. Know what your team is doing. Miss Knight, I call out in the main hall. There's definitely no one here. Just an imposing metal archway and a whole lot of industrial equipment. She didn't go and use the wormhole generator, did she? And there's a strange sound coming from the archway. Sayori, is that you? I lean in towards the arch. It emits a faint humming sound, as usual. But that isn't the concerning noise, which is coming from behind it, over by the heavy water storage tanks. Hello? Come on, I know you're there. Metal impacts the floor with a crash, followed by hurried footsteps. By the time I reach it, they're gone. There's a stopwatch on the floor. I don't care that you're trespassing. This place is dangerous. I'm trying to keep you safe. Well, it's not dangerous yet, but the intruder doesn't need to know that. I take a shortcut through a hanging tarp and come smashing into the stopwatch's owner. Miss Knight?
Boss, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to run into you.
What on earth is she playing at? Sayori, I've told you before, you can call me Monica. What's going on?
Right, boss. Monica, I was just,
This is getting nowhere. Look, you can tell me. We can't go into another dimension if we're not on the same page. I know you wouldn't steal from the project, so what is it? You've been acting weird since you got back. She evades looking at me.
It's silly. I was waiting to see if you'd hire him. I've missed him, and I just needed to see if he'd get the job.
I pass her the stopwatch. So what was this about? Still, she avoids making eye contact, looking sullen. Why is this getting to her so much? Is there more to this? Well, now I know he didn't get it because you were only on the phone for a few minutes.
Oh, it's Sayori.
Well, now I know he didn't get it because you were only on the phone for a few minutes.
Sayori's tone shifts from sadness to anger.
Did you even give him a chance? Do you know how much he and I went through?
Oh, I see what this is. She's in love with him. Figures. Please don't get so worked up about it. I offered him the job.
You did?
Oh! The anger instantly falls off her face, replaced with a flicker of a smile, the purest joy I've ever seen. But just as quickly, it's replaced with guilt.
Oh God, Doctor, I'm so sorry I shouted at you. That wasn't professional at all. You know I'm a stickler for the rules, I'm sorry.
She can be a bit of a handful when self-deprecating, but I trust her with my life to follow the rules, particularly the rules of time travel, to the T. There's nothing to be sorry for, my friend. All good here. I was just hoping to find you before conducting the next interview. We've still got 2 more roles to fill, security and scientific expertise. And luckily I've got people in mind for both. But it would be nice to get your opinion on their profiles first. Can't hurt to build their confidence back up, right? Leadership skills.
Of course, Doctor. Monica. In the
Error, further corruption in character bank. Resolving.